beneficial for everybody if everybody is on the same boat. You know, and some guys are like, yeah, but I'm on the lower level, dude. You're saying that because you're getting paid good money and you're the highest level. Like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. But I'm like, dude, even for you, if you're like in the middle level of it and you're like maybe number 5th to 10th, you know, of the category or whatever, like if you keep fighting for shitty money, dude, that's what's going to be wherever. That's kind of where I got stuck a little bit. I don't feel like fighting for free anymore. I don't feel like just doing this just because of this title or that title.
Welcome back to the BJJ Fanatics podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ford. My guest today is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a 2021 black belt world champion. He's also a no-gi world champion and a Pan Am's champion. He was an Orlando Open absolute champion, a Kasai Pro 150 and 170 pound champion, and an American national champion. He's also a UAE JJF Grand Slam champion and a Third Coast grappling champion. He's the head instructor at Hybrid Jiu-Jitsu in Las Vegas, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be joined today for the 3rd time on the show by one of my all-time favorites, Renato Canuto. How are you today, Renato?
Very happy to be here, man. I love when you say that I'm your all-time favorite. It makes me pretty excited.
Dude, you're easily one of my top of all time, man. You always bring great action to the table in your matches. It's always very friendly.
Thank you, man. I
appreciate you being. Of course, man. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to be here again, Renato. Man, you just came off of a awesome performance at PGF, man. Tell us about all that. What was that? What was the event like?
Yeah.
How was it different from things that you'd done before? And what was your overall takeaway?
Man, what a crazy event, dude. That I like their idea. With that said, if you asked me, like, you know, a year ago or 2 years ago, if I would do anything like that, I'd be like, nah, unless they pay me like a lot of money to do something like that. But I don't know. I got invited. It was funny because it was like my striking coach that hooked me out on a message with Gracie, and she was one of the organizers for it. So anyway, I didn't really knew about the PGF before. So when I started looking into it and they said like, 100,000 for whatever, I started trying to understand what was the idea. And then it sounded interesting. And I was like, you know what? It's a lot of matches to do like throughout the week. It's 3 a day for 5 days a week. So we end up doing like up to 12 to 15. If you make a flip playoff, so you end up doing 15. So I was like, you know what? I've been kind of like stressing, waiting for an MMA fight that never happens, and I've been waiting. That's why I haven't been competing in Jiu-Jitsu, because I feel like the last time I did, that was in 2022, and I don't feel like my focus was as good or as sharp as I wish. So I was like, you know what, let me get my first MMA fight out of the way, and I'll go back to grappling. But I was just tired of sitting down and waiting, and then finally I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and grapple at this thing, and then I'll take the rust off. I have all this opportunity, like, you know, of getting a bunch of matches and content, and I want to be a little, you know, put my work out there, be a little bit more present and do like some match breakdowns and things like that. So that was a good opportunity for that anyway. With that said, oh my God, that's a crazy idea and bad for your body, mentally stressful, you know, physically like hard, but it was very fun. I feel like after getting out of the experience of doing all those 5 days of competing in a row, I literally feel like, man, after doing these, I can do anything, you know, I can do anything. Doing one super fight or an MMA fight, like, it's fine. It's just one guy. Get it done. I'm good. Yeah.
Always exciting to see you get out there, man. I feel like that platform was such a great place for you to display your jiu-jitsu too. Because like I said in the intro, you have a very fan-friendly style. You're always very exciting and fun to watch. So I think for that kind of platform, it really is perfect for you. What was your favorite thing about it, you think?
Man, there was a bunch of stuff, honestly, that was pretty cool. I think the idea of like suffering as a team was very cool, very nerve-wracking, because our team was always on second place. And then, at least we were a lot ahead from third and fourth, but we were always so close to the first place guys. And like, I feel like we had the better team as far as like, if we balance it out, all of the people that were the 5 of us, I feel like we had toughness and wrestling in one kid. We had the young Jet who was, just murdering everybody. Like, that kid was so mean. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, right off the first thing, I was like, okay, this kid, he's going to get the job done. He's going to get subs. Me, Daniel, we're like more IBJJF style. Both have world titles, and experience. And then Kevin, who is a leg lock guy. So I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like we balance out all of the styles. And I was like, I think we're going to do well. And we were doing well. It was just, I made, even for me to do my part was so hard. I feel like because I was one of the guys that people knew of and that they were giving me too much respect, they were not trying enough to catch me, and they were playing very defensively. So I'm not saying that they were not trying, but they were trying to defend themselves and not get tapped. And that made the submission like so much harder. And maybe, like, I don't know, I should have like trained on a different style of strategy. I feel like towards the end of the week, I started changing my strategy a little better and things started popping up more. I did get more meaner throughout the week too, start covering people's mouths and things like that I usually don't, unless I'm just joking around training. But I was like, you know what, I gotta get subs, so I'm gonna do something. So throughout the week, I got meaner. I feel like I got more like a better idea of what I should be looking for. So in general, it was a good experience to learn about myself. I feel like, as far as passing guard and putting pressure on people, things that I usually don't. I usually move more. I was doing more pressure passing, staying tight. And that also, like, I was able to play out and pass, go to side control, go to mount. It was just the submission aspect, really, that was kind of like, sometimes I pulled the trigger too soon and tried to brought the platter and I missed. And then the other times I stayed too long with the mount, I waited too long to set up something and go for something. But in general, it was very cool to be able to try all these crazy things that I have in the back of my head or that I've been doing in training that I haven't shown nobody. And I went there and just tried. So a lot of the things that I wanted to do, I did. Some things I couldn't do because they set a rule. I found out the day before that you couldn't jump guard. So a lot of things I've been working on as far as, like, jumping, like scissor stuff and donkey and things like that I've been wanting to do more. I've been doing more in training. I couldn't do it because, like, everyone's expecting me to do flying arm bursts. So I'm always like, now I've been feinting flying arm bursts to double leg. I feint. I act like I'm going to jump and they pull their arms back in a double leg. Or I feint and I go for the scissor. I feint, I go for the donkey thing when they try to spin behind me. So it's kind of cool. I've been playing with all these things. Some things I still didn't do about some of these that I said, like in next few competitions for sure. It gave me a lot of confidence, man. It was very cool to just go there and just try. Whatever I want to do, try it. I have 12 matches. I have 15 matches. Like, I can keep trying. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's incredible, man. Well, what a cool place to be in your career and in your journey in jiu-jitsu, where you can go to a large stage of jiu-jitsu against really high level athletes, and that's the place where you can experiment with things. For most of us, we experiment with things in the training room, and then we only go into the tournament with the things that we know are going to for sure. Yeah, but you're out there doing experimental stuff and testing things in the battlefield, which is really
that's
cool.
What I was excited about, because I feel like I always had that competition lock, where like you don't break out of this habit of like, this is what it works, so this is what I'm going to do. I feel like I've done this for so long. Like, I have so much more jiu-jitsu to show, and I was just trying to show the other sides of my jiu-jitsu. It's like, yeah, everyone knows I can jump on stuff. Everyone knows I can, pass outside and I'm explosive and I can cartwheel. Like, it's like, I didn't do one cartwheel, one backflip. I was just trying to, like, keep my pace up, get them tired, move, switch sides, put pressure passing, mix it up. Takedowns, leg entanglements, pulling guard straight to like some sweeps or leg attacks. So like all of these things I tried. Try flying arm bars, tried a bunch of stuff. So it was cool. I feel like I did a lot of the things that I usually can do. Some of them was like, I almost got it. But a lot of them, like, I was like, okay, I'm in the right path. Like, I just got to adjust little things.
Every tournament, every competition, every match you have, there's always something to take away, and there's always something to go back to the drawing board and work on. For you, with this recent performance at PGF, what are some of the things that you've taken home that now you want to start really focusing on?
Dude, So the main thing for me getting caught, because I ended up getting caught towards the end. I got caught twice, right? Like the last 11th match on day 4th, and then the day 5th, I got caught again. It was just me getting off my strategy and like not following the strategy I said I was set to do it. I mean, with PJ, which was the first guy that caught me on the heel hook, it was just I feel like the reset was kind of bit. I was gonna try and like play guard with him anyway, because I was like, I'm not gonna just wrestle him for 6 minutes because we're gonna be here, waste your time. I need to get subs, and if I get subs, my team might get ahead of the ex-martial team. So we're like 12 points ahead, a choke counter for 6 points. So I was like, I gotta get a choke, or I gotta get to his legs and tap him, or like I gotta get something going. So I tried, end up getting caught, but I feel like on the reset, my foot was free. And then when we went back, he was already hugging my leg. So like the ref was just not too on it. And he was just like, go. And then he was like holding me. So I was like, whatever, I'll just attack his legs still instead of trying to freak out and get up. But honestly, I don't like staying on the double pull on the both of us sitting down on the 50-50 scenario because of that. Because now it's literally 50-50. I have your leg, you have my leg, we both can get caught, and again, he's a template guy, he probably plays more leg locks and leg lockers like more often than I do. I have 2 guys here that are pretty good in my gym, so I've been playing a lot of them. But even with them, I do realize that that's something that I have to work better on. It's like not staying sitting down, but whenever I come up and I step heavy on the ground, I can defend better, I can fight their legs better. But when we're both sitting down, I'm just leaving my leg there. It's a lot harder for me to pummel my legs and get out. So that was one thing. It was like not wanting to look too desperate and being too comfortable already towards the end. Like, they're not going to catch me and then getting caught. Instead of like just freaking out, like, get out. Like split the legs, pummel my legs in, get the lean line free. Those are things I usually do like when I know that they're good at it. But in there, I was just trying to be too calm and relaxed, and I got caught. For both guys. So that double pull thing, that's not too great. I gotta work more on that. Other things, now offensively speaking, was mainly for no-gi, for submission only. Since the points didn't count, I was like, pressure passing people are actually getting side control, getting mount, but then they're just kind of like hugging themselves and stuff. So I would say more head control, looking more for the head whenever I'm passing. That way I can wrap the head, and then they either want to attack guillotines, darces, or they're going to turtle into me if they can take the back, or attacking the neck to make them defend and then go whip to the back. Those are like better paths that I found towards the end of the week that I started getting. And then on some of them was just like decision making too fast. Or the Davis Asari, for example, was one of our last chances of scoring. And it was like 30 seconds left. I finally passed guard to north-south, and I went for the Kimura right away. And I was like, I knew that I should have went to the back instead, but I only had 30 seconds. I was like, even if I choke him, he probably might just eat it. So like fast decision making, ended up going for the armbar, and I actually split his hands for a second. He went back over the top and grabbed again. He was really strong. I also appreciate it. I didn't get the armbar. I should have at least gotten an armbar on him. But it was fun, man. It was fun. All those kids are like, a lot of them I didn't know much about them. And I was like, oh, these kids are killers, dude. They're just like, like some of them were like purple belts and stuff. I was like, that doesn't make sense. But dude, some of these guys are coming up, and they're going to be surprising a lot of people. Some of them I don't think, like, I think they're too young. Like Jet, he's 17. He's already massive, like pretty thick and strong. Like he's not like muscular size-wise, but like thick bones and structure. He's tall. I think he's going to pass the 77 division real soon and end up like going like and making big trouble more at 88 and like even bigger guys. That's what I think within like time, because it's just going to keep getting bigger. But yeah, it was awesome to compete in, like have a a glimpse of like what these kids are doing, what the game is looking like right now. It's very different from the jiu-jitsu. I'm usually I'm used to fighting as well. Submission only is kind of weird. It's a little bit weirder.
Yeah. No, but it's awesome. No, but it's awesome to see you crossing lines into other areas of the sport that you're normally not accustomed to. I think that's really great. I think a lot of people that watch and enjoy jiu-jitsu would appreciate it if more people were doing that. I think everyone kind of collectively appreciates that you left your comfort zone to put on display your jiu-jitsu. And you couldn't have said it better, man. The waters are getting really deep. And like when you watch these teenage divisions that are out there and stuff, it's like, oh my God, dude, this kid's...
They are well-rounded, It's like not only like they know how to attack legs, not only they are like flexible and annoying on bottom, like they are also wrestling, they're also passing good, like everyone knows everything. Like there's not as many guys that are like one dimension like he used to be, The other two guys was just like trying to take the legs, keeping their elbows in, and like those guys were annoying me the first day, but it was like, they didn't like give me any threat to the point that like, when we fought one of them, I was actually not expecting to catch me and I got caught.
No, it happens.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you identify an area of your game that you want to work on, or you see something that needs improvement, how do you typically approach that? Do you design like your training to reflect things that you're actively trying to improve upon? How do you throw something like that into the mix to make it better?
So that's the cool thing about being a coach. And then right now, like today's class, for example, we go Tuesday and Thursdays now in the morning. We do a comp class where like now it's getting bigger and more people are coming into it. But it's still like decent people that are the MMA fighters, or they compete in jiu-jitsu for a long time. They're trying to fight MMA, or my guys that do jiu-jitsu, the guys from Temple also are coming by. So now we're getting more and more people coming through. So it's getting more bodies, with that said. But that's my experimental class, right? Like here and there is where we work all the weird stuff that I've been thinking about, all the things that like I feel like we need to work on. What is it called? Like some things I like in the general classes that I usually teach, I wouldn't, even want to make them have to go through it, because you just need to like learn a bunch more steps before you get that far deep into situations. But I do a lot of situational training, a lot of like whenever we do like drill techniques and stuff, I always open for like, hey, you come here, like show me, like add on to these, like on top of these that we're working on, like add on, like show me how you do it, that way like we're all kind of giving insights. So I have a wrestling coach that trains with us jiu-jitsu as well, and he comes in and he shows like his insight for the wrestling stuff. I have other guys that are really good at, they will show like their version of like, oh, when they're on my back, this is what I like doing. So we've been working on a lot of stuff like defensively and offensively. Like sometimes just either skipping the back, and then like the whole training is like, now it's going to be about drilling the escapes and the things that we do, like to use our legs to defend the back, or how to palm with the hands. And then after we go to positional training, we started out the hooks, like we always putting ourselves in the scenarios, and then we go for rounds. So it's like a longer training, but like very specific, task-based. Some of the training just stay on top, because stay heavy. You're not going to pass the guard. You're not going to attack a submission. They can't get out of the bottom. They can't attack you. You're just blocking. Those things are things that like I feel like I had to grow into it, and those trainings helped me to get better, because I always attack, and then like if people don't have a great guard, and then I end up like where I need to be like fast, and now I'm like, attack my submission or whatever, but now I'm not putting myself through the layers of defending myself from top. I feel like we always think of top as like an aggressive thing, and I'm gonna pass, I'm gonna attack, but like defensively I got better from top. So that's why like I was able to deal with a lot of these guys throughout this tournament. I feel like I was doing a lot of headquarters that I learned first from Adam. Adam came here and taught some seminars. He was showing the headquarters and explaining like how he does it, and what he does to me. I was like, okay, I'm bought into the idea. This works. This sucks. I don't like being here. So I started working more on that and repeating those classes and making people work on that too. Wagner Rocha came to train as well, gave me some pointers, how he gets heavier, how he just stays in, how he doesn't let the guy gain anything back from guard. So I'd be working on that as well. So like I just add on, I just, I soak it. Like anything that I can find that I see that works, I soak it, I mix what I already do. I try to learn from anybody, it could be a white belt coming to show me crazy. Well, I'm always listening first and try to pay attention and see, what I can learn from, or what, not just like, yeah, I don't do like that. I do like this, Like, even if I have a way that I do it, I'll should try your way and see like, let me see how this works. So I'm always changing, which is sometimes like even hard for me. Like, cause I feel like when you focus on one or two things, like a good jab, right? You're a guy that just has a really good jab, eventually throw a cross, and that's your thing. I don't know. I'm more like, the guy that plays with too many different things. I just throw so many things at you that eventually I see which one makes you more confused. And the reactions that you give me is like, and I'm watching a reaction. I'm like, okay, cool. Here, he doesn't like it. Boom. That's my path. So I take my time to find more about the guy, in the beginning. And then after that, I'll just like, throughout like halfway of the match, I already know where my attacks should be leading to, what they don't like, what they're strong at. Yeah, so it's been fun, man. It's been fun. It gets more nerdier, the longer you do.
Yeah. That's such a cool approach, though, man. Because I think a lot of people approach matches and roles with a very rigid plan in motion. Like they think, okay, this is my game. I like to start here. I like to use this pass. I like to then go to this position. I like to work from this to that to these submissions. It sounds like you don't have a specific path. You're just sort of like, okay, I'm going to start throwing variables out there. Whatever.
Conceptual approaches, I feel like Leo also helped me a lot with this. And a lot of guys are like good instructors in general. I feel like concepts is really where things change a lot, because now you can know all these techniques. And before I was always looking for like, what is the one move? Like, hey, show me a technique that will help me with this. And then Leo would always just throw me like, a quick, like short wisdom phrase, like a 3-pointer is like, oh, he wants to lasso you. Okay, so you grab his leg first, like stuff like that. It's like, okay, he wants this leg, give him the other leg. Like what?
Yeah.
And then I do it. And I'm like,
so
this
simple.
works so much better. Oh my god, why am I complicating this? Why am I trying to study the whole move? Like, just give them something different. They're gonna shoot you. Grab the 2 legs. Grab the 2 legs. They can't come up. Stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. You're like, oh my god, I'm so dumb. I should be doing this all the time.
I can relate to that so much, man.
Yeah.
I try to get way beyond my actual capacity of intellect when I'm thinking about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then someone will just do something so simple. But why don't you just put your hand here? I'm just like all my charts and my graphs that I'm trying to draw and all this, I just throw them all in the trash now because this guy just pointed out the one.
All the techniques I learned. What the hell?
just had to grab right here. What the hell?
Yeah. That's like the Johnson. That's the joke, right? Because he fought Tyne and like, dude, Tyne is murdering everybody and he's smashed me even. But then they were like, man, how did you block his game? Like, can you do a breakdown? BJJ was asking him. He was like making a joke. He was just like, make a grip on the pants, right? He reached for the pants. He's like, that's how he did. It's like, okay, this leg is trapped. He's using this leg as a waiter. I'm gonna block this other leg. Okay, cool. Now he can come up. And that's all he did. Like, stay calm and just use the concept. And like, his jiu-jitsu is so simple. He's like probably the best example I have for right now of like how one person can be so smart and make things so complicated and study so much and put so many hours on drilling. And this guy can just like flow his whole life and move around and know the concepts of like, I want to stay on top. But bro, he's like literally like unsweepable. Like, you can't sweep the guy. He'll always fall on his hands, on his feet, on his head. He'll plant, he'll roll. You can't hold him down. So it kind of sucks because you get frustrated because you work all these moves. But at the end of the move, no matter what you do, when you have to come up, he's going to be out of there. He's going to scramble out. He's going to beat you on the way back. And then he sucks. Like, so it's like, it's very cool to watch because like, I feel like my jiu-jitsu is half and half. Which is like, I like to learn techniques and I know all these things, but a lot of it is just feel as well, it's the motion, like he's like the animal motion kind of idea, so it's cool to see these still alive and still working even at the highest level, because like I feel some people just get overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, this sport's like too hard. Like, this is too complicated. Like, no, it's not that complicated. Watch this guy instead. You're watching this guy. This guy's like, he does very complicated things and he approaches this as like a science project. It's like Mikey, he has like all these little adjustments, like his head placement on the ground when he's playing guard, or like how, some guys talk about how they twist the grip and how they do this and that. Like, some of these dudes are just conceptually doing the same thing from everywhere. Like Leo Vieira does an arm drag from everywhere. Arm drag, guard, arm drag, takedowns, arm drag, passing. Like, what? I never knew that was possible. So, it goes to show that you can make a lot simpler and go a lot simpler about it and be good. You can make it complicated and be good. There's a bunch of different ways of doing it. That's the beauty of it.
Renato, there's something you said earlier that you were talking about some of your strategy at PGF. You were talking about using lots of feints. In order to get reactions out of your opponent. That's something I'd like to ask you about. So when it comes to people out there that want to be able to do the same thing, they want to start implementing feints and fakes and things like that into their game, what's the best way to identify the proper fakes to make in order to get what you're actually going for? How do you like to think of that?
So I feel like there is like different ways you could approach, meaning you can go through the guard, you can point a knee cut, and then switch towards folding fast, meaning pointing the knee towards the mount, walking all the way to the opposite side, and then literally just doing that, just making their body go this way, that way. My legs are here one way, I'm defending with the knee shoot. Instead of me fighting the knee shoot, I'll just walk to the other side. Now there's no knee shoot. Then I had to go back towards half guard, towards the knee cut, and I'm blocking the knee shoot. Or I go all the way to the other side, I smash the legs together. So it's like, it's always just switching a little bit, moving things around a little bit. Just move a little bit. Like, instead of trying to like force everything right off the bat, sometimes just move. In the beginning, just move. See what they do whenever I go this way. See what they do when I go forward. See what they do when I try to back up, And they're going to give you like different looks. Like, sometimes or like for the outside, I go leg drag. Are they throwing the leg over the top? Are they pushing me away right away? Are they trying to come up and turtle like into my legs? I'm just trying to stay free. So it's like, it's just a test. I drag the leg with no intention, but like, just feint. Get close, like, okay, where's the reaction? I was like, put the jab out there, or they're parrying a lot. They're bringing their parry a lot down. Now next time I'll set up like a different punch. It's a very similar idea, I feel like to to the idea of fighting, like know about the guy, what they're gonna do. Now the next time I come by the same leg drag, I'm gonna move around first. I want to make you forget about it. I'm gonna do a Toriando. I'm gonna, break your grip. Now you're not thinking about it. Now when I go to hit the same move again, I'm already planning ahead because I know you're throwing the leg. I know you're framing with the arm. So I already know what I'm gonna do. It's either you're gonna frame it with an arm bar. I'm gonna slide on your arms, or I'm gonna throw the leg back where he was, or I'm gonna pin the leg and switch sides. So I have a plan of whatever comes next. And then the more you do that, you don't even have to check anymore at some point. At some point, it's just natural. Like if I feel the hand and I go, like I don't have to keep looking for it anymore. Like I feel like towards the end of the season, that's all I was doing. I was just like getting in there and like doing from up close, from the outside, moving. A lot of them I wanted to stay close to because some of them were pretty strong, like some of the boys, because we made weight on 175 on Sunday. And my weight kept dropping. I was like 173, almost 72, probably like towards the end of the week. And these guys were just like big, dude. Like they were a lot bigger. Yeah. So I was like, I want this dude to stay on bottom. So I was just trying to stay on top of them, doing more of a flow kind of pass, like staying over the leg, headquarters, folding the legs like Bushisha, or bringing back to the knee cut. And then from there, like whatever looks they give me, I'm always just grinding them, making them tired, not letting them get a rest. They're carrying my weight. So there's different ways about it. I can go through and put pressure and move a little bit without giving too much space. I can go fully around. I can go under the legs, and you just catch like, okay, how are they blocking me? Okay, next time I go there, I can catch them off that. So I feel like I've done this for so long at this point. Before it's just a little Toriando, and then the Toriando go here, I go there. And and that worked like for so long. I did that for so long. Just simple stuff like that. Go to the Neo Belly instead. But now I want to get closer to shot control because from the Neo Belly guys that are flexible, they can recover guard better. So now I had to figure out how do I deal with the frames because I can't get close. So all of these things I work over time, and I went asking questions, and I went studying, and I watch videos, and I see how other guys do. And I have stuff out there like teaching those things too. I do have to go back to BJJ Fanatics and do another few courses. There's too much stuff that I still have to show. I'm trying to build my own website so I can actually share all this stuff, because mainly like a lot of it, I feel like I want to show more breakdowns of my matches and show there be more of my job. That's mainly why I wanted to do it too. But I do have to do some courses and stuff and get people to like see me more as like, okay, this dude is not just jumping around here. He has a method and it's fun to train that way. I can teach what I do, which is a fun thing about my game.
Everything you've just said, it really highlights a couple different things. It's something we hear a lot about with high-level black belts and people with a lot of experience. The first thing is the idea of being several steps ahead of your opponent. We always talk about how when you roll with someone at a high level, it just seems like, man, they're several steps ahead of me at all times. The second thing is the idea of masking your intentions. So basically what you're doing is you're probing with just sort of not necessarily fake moves, but like you're not fully committing to, say, doing the arm drag or to doing a Toriando. You're just seeing what their reactions are. Then once you identify what it is that you're going to do, you then mask your intentions by continuing to do other sort of feinting kind of things. How long did it take you to get to that point where you were consciously doing that?
Honestly, I think by the time, like when I was a brown belt, we started hitting like already, but very mildly. I could see mildly things that I see nowadays. I just didn't have enough options like I have nowadays. Like nowadays I'm very much more objective about like, okay, it's a stiff arm, this is what I do. If it's a leg coming over the top, this is what I do. If it's a leg coming like under my body, this is what I do. Now I have more, just my body just moves more naturally. That's that subconscious ability of just doing these moves that you work all the time on. It's a lot easier to deal with. But I think around when I was a brown belt, I started feeling it, but only after teaching a few years and starting to be able to teach the things that I actually do. Because like that's the thing about teaching as well. Like you when you started teaching, I feel like you're trying to re-teach the classes that you like the most. Right? Like I went to Kavaka's class, or I went to my father's class, I went to Trizel's class, I went to this guy's class, and that's kind of how they showed. So I'm going to kind of show that because it's safe, and that's like a class I remember how to teach. And, this is step number 1, step number 2, step number 3. And I feel like in the beginning I was doing that. I was like mimicking things that I liked. And then eventually I was like, what? I have to explain what I like doing because like these guys are not doing what I do. So then I started like just putting myself in the situation, and now I have to teach. I just have to speak about it. I was like, I know what I'm doing, but okay, let's break it down. When I go here, I see that you guys are always too far. Your hips are too far. So I bring my hips a little closer. My knees are not on the ground. I'm close by them the whole time. How are they reacting? You know, what is it that they're doing? So like me having to explain what I do to people helped me to understand myself better. To the point that like before it was very like natural movements where like I'm just moving out of the way over and over again, just getting away from it. So if the legs face me this way, I'll be here. You know, I'm outside. And if the legs face me this way, then I'm going to go over the head. If they try turning to me, I'll go to the other side. So I'm always like playing tag with them and hiding away from the legs, right? That's like the whole outside passing concept. But then now, I don't know, I feel like I can do this, like finally I can do this, which would be so cool to be able to like fight in the gi again at this point, I feel like. Because now I'm finally comfortable like staying inside, staying outside, going back from inside to outside, outside to inside, like, and I'm just hiding inside the guard. That's something I didn't take time to do it. And good guys do that well. They stay on the inside of a guard, but you don't have it. You don't have a guard. You know, all you have is frames. All you have is like, get away from me, let me squeeze me, you know, and like they still in control. And it took me a while to do that because, like I said, the competitiveness and the competitive game just made me always go back to outside because that's what I'm good at. That's where people get complicated. That's where they get scared. They don't want to reach. They don't want to get armbar. They don't want to, you know, they get frustrated. And that's why I'll play on their mind. I'll be like hitting that spot where like they're like uncomfortable and they don't like it. They feel a little bit like clumsy, you know? So I liked that kind of fighting. And I did that to a lot of people for a long time, to the point that in December 2021, when I won the Worlds in the gi, it was my last gi tournament. That's what I was doing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be I'm going to do something different than I have been working on, but I haven't done a competition and I'm going to win this time. So I was working on a lot of cross band and getting close and letting them give me something instead of me working off their reactions. I was making them give me something and attack me with something. So then I would try and reverse it or always get out of their way, you know, but from a closer angle. So I feel like in there is when I made a statement like, okay, I can do this, you know, and then it became like bigger and bigger. Now with like the last 2 years or so, just being able to train and not stress about competition, not stress about studying too much. These guys I'm going to fight, just watching jiu-jitsu for fun, watching competition for fun, trying what this guy did, trying what that guy does, trying things that I think about it. When I'm going to sleep, I'm making notes and then I try the next day. So all of these things like coming into account, it was what made me be able to do a lot of it at PGF, you know. So that was one thing that was cool. I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. That was something that I wanted to do. Now I know what is working, what it doesn't, and what I have to work on, you know, and do better.
You know, Renato, one of my favorite things about jiu-jitsu is watching how different attributes and different games and styles and even body types can affect the flow of the role. We see guys like you who are very fast and nimble and athletic. And we see guys who are like thicker and just kind of stocky and like low heavy pressure pressers. And it's always interesting seeing how when those guys collide, like how does the game work in this case?
It's like Albert Santos and like Bernardo Faria. Sorry, not Bernardo. But if you watch Albert Santos and Bernardo, it was like Bernardo is so good at half guard, dude. If he gets you there, that's it, dude.
That's trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, your knee bar, you're gonna get you. The swept and passed. It's all a giant collection of things that go one after the other, like to blend it, and you just can't get away from him anymore. He's just gonna grind you in. And then Albert Santos was just like he always did good with Leandro, for example. Bernardo beat on Leandro, you know, and Leandro beat on Herbert, but Herbert did good with Bernardo because Herbert was just more explosive off the bat. As soon as Bernardo would try and pull, he was already jumping to his side. Now he didn't find a guard, just trying to find him. He's spinning behind him, spinning the other way, spinning. He's just hiding. I feel like that was my style. That's like Miran's style. Miran's really good at that. He just disappears, dude. The second you try to pull guard him, he's already gone. And he does this to the little guys, which I think is even more impressive because little guys have sticky guard and flexible and smaller space to get close to, and he makes it work. So I think it's very fun to watch. There's a bunch of good guys out there, but like, you know, that's the style that I like doing too. Is like as soon as they pull, I'm already breaking the grip, and they're like, oh my god, it didn't get any hold, shit. And now they're already like trying to just grab me, and I'm just get out, out. Always like playing angles and being on their side other than like between the legs. And I want to make it as hard as possible for you to find me between your legs. You're going to really have to work for it. And then nowadays, as I'm saying, that's the cool thing is I can do that. And then the second they actually catch me, I'm not freaking out to get out. I'll literally just attack them from the inside because all they did is like get a shitty hold that they didn't want at first. At first, they probably wanted something like more like, let's say they wanted to play the La Riva, but they didn't find the La Riva. Now they're just playing sit-up guard all of a sudden because they just want to hold my leg. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now you are like exactly where I wanted you to be, which is like you're not in your main game. And here I have answers too. So boom, I'll start attacking them from there. You know, I feel like that helps, not letting the guy get ahead first and then making them work for something that is not as valuable. And then like now they're like on their secondary or like third, whatever option. Now it's a lot easier to beat them on that side. I'm passing to this side. They're really good at defending on this side. Oh, let me check this side. I go to the other side. And then you see that they don't like it. They keep trying to turn to this side. We're going to go to that side. We're going to go to that side. We're going to go to that side. Yeah, now it's fun. Like, and that's the cool thing about passing. Now playing guard is super fun too. It's just, dude, it's hard to do both like at the highest level. That's why I was happy to play some guard and stuff and try some things, and some things worked, some things didn't. But yeah, that's why I have more fun on the passing side sometimes. In training, I do play a lot of guard and I do attack a lot of stuff because not every day I want to be like wrestling. If the guy want to stand up a lot of times, I'll just pull. But yeah, from the passing aspect of it, which is like where I'm like coming from and explaining, like it's the same thing. And then on bottom, the same thing. I'm like, once I get a hold, I want to be kicking the guy off balance and bring them to one side or side, defend this armbar, defend. Now I'm going to attack your legs, you defend the legs. Now we're going to go, you know, I'm always trying to put together like a chain wrestling. Next thing. So you're always defending. You just take. Then they can attack me. And then eventually they get tired. And for some reason, I guess because I train like that, I don't get tired. Because I do that every day. So I get tired every day in the end of the round. You know, not during the round. During the round, I'm just like, this guy has to be more tired than me because I did a lot more attacks than him. So I just attack, you know. So yeah, that's how it works in my head.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes perfect sense. With your style, it's definitely cardio would be of the most importance because you want to be able to remain throwing those variables at them, like you mentioned.
Controlling my breathing too, as I'm doing. Do anybody pull their head and they're like, okay, I'm taking a break, but they're like, you know, like they're not breathing. So if they hang on my head and resting, I let my head go. I don't pick it up because then you force against it. You're getting more tired. I let them push it down and I hang on them instead. You know, and then it's like over time you don't see it, but then like it's that Nicky Ryan match, like over time people are like, oh my god, this guy just, you know, hugging each other and whatever, but like I'm saving my energy. I'm just letting my body hang on you, and then in the end you're like, you're getting tired and like start breathing harder. I see it, it's paid off now I'm gonna get you. You know, it's like sometimes you just need to get them more tired. You know, that's a way of doing it too.
You mentioned if you're going with someone that's like bigger and stronger, typically your strategy is typically going to be to not go between their legs, not let them get good grip, not let them get superior grips, and then cutting lots of angles. Flipping that around, what do you like to do against the same person playing guard? If you're the one playing guard,
if I'm playing guard and the guy moves a lot, dude.
No, if it's a big guy, if
he's a big guy,
same thing, just
big
just
guy,
switched.
like now it's me against a big guy on top. Yeah. So honestly, that's when I want to do two different ways. I'm either really far, I'm keeping them on spider guard, I'm keeping them on the La Riva, I'm keeping them away from me, and I'm attacking them from like open guards, or I'm really close. I don't want to be in that between. That between half guard where they can like, you know, hug my body, go body lock, or hug my head. And then I'm like, oh my God, like that's not good. That's not good. You know, they're pressing me. That's not good. So if I'm close, I'm going butterfly all the way in. I'm going deep half all the way in. You know, like if I'm playing like from a really close tight guard. Or if I'm far. So like I don't like playing that middle distance too much. You know, it doesn't mean that I don't. I just don't want to let them get to middle and then close. Because then when they go from middle to close on their attacks, you know, like I'm defending and they're pressing me from middle to close, sometimes I'm just too far behind now. And I just have to survive. And I don't want to be on that side. That's what I was saying like about training Wagner Rocha is like that's all he does. He will get to the knee cut. He will block you from getting out of the knee cut to anything. You don't change your guard anymore. You're just playing reverse de la Riva, you know, and that's it. And you better use the knee shield to push him away. You better use your hands to frame him away. And he's just taking his time. He's going to stay there. He's going to stay there. He's going to stay there. I mean, you see Lapri doing that. You see JT doing a more explosive version of that, but they just stay. You carrying him. Towards the end, the guy's like, oh my God, I'm slowing down. And then they just eat you alive. And I was like 50-0 after 5 minutes. 5 minutes, nothing. And then the next 5 is like they score 50 times. So I'm saying like different ways of approaching. So I don't want to be stuck on that. I want to be always like off balance. Like even when I pull guard, I feel like I pull guard always into a sweep. That was a class that we were teaching yesterday. I was like, get used to figuring out how to get your game right away. I want to play on bottom, but this guy's really strong or this guy's really fast. Dude, how can I throw an attack and make them defend right away? I pull guard already, attack and sweep. They have to balance to do not fall. If they balance to do not stay, to do not get caught. Now they're not passing my guard. That's time that I'm winning. I go from there to boom, trapping them in close guard. Or I go from there to locking them into the guard that I wanted. But I need to threaten them first. I need to make them defend first. Like I said, like go back to the Mayram situation or to the Herbert situation. If you pull into a guard just like that, like sliding it, they're going to disappear. But if you pull them into a foot sweep, if you pull them into a scissor sweep, if you pull them with like a lift already, and it's a good enough attack where they can't just jump out of it or just disappear in front of you and they have to actually defend, that's great. That's a win, because then after that, we're doing jiu-jitsu. Now it's like a feint, pop, now I grab you. Now I'm holding. Like that's what makes it hard for me, for example, Yeah, like games that mess me up, for example, was guys like Lucas Leite or even Adam, they just have that stickier guard. They stay close, they twist my knee, or like Adam just so tricky those freaking foot sweeps from the shin to shin. So like that's what I'm saying. Like some guys, they just play a game that's like a little tighter. Once they do tie me up, I'm like so concerned. I'm like, oh my god, this is their game. Like they're already like beating me. You know what I'm saying? So there's also that. That's why I like nowadays I'm more comfortable staying inside. Because I don't want to have to depend on always being on the outside, always passing around, So it's important to cover all bases, I guess.
Obviously, managing the range, distance management, that's all something really important when playing guard against bigger, stronger people. It's a lot like striking. Like if you're boxing, you don't want to necessarily stay in the pocket. You either want to be in real tight clinching or you want to be out away in the safe zone.
No, it's true. It's like the shorter guy want to get like the stockier, stronger guy. If they get close to you, dude, and they can play on that mid distance and they're throwing hooks, like it sucks. I don't want to be there. I'm longer. I want to be on the distance. I want to be jabbing, throwing straight punches. And when they try to do that to me, I have to be fast. I'm like, stop, hug them, like lock in and don't let them punch you from there. Because that's where they have the advantage. So it is definitely a lot like striking.
Well, man, speaking of striking, we have an exciting update from you, man. You've got your first MMA fight coming up at ONE FC.
Sir.
I'm so stoked for you. I can't wait to see that.
Yes, sir.
What's it been like leading up? I know you've had a really hard time finding people that'll take a fight with you. You got to take down all your highlight reels off YouTube, man.
Yes.
You can't let that footage out. You're scaring everybody away, man. But no, tell us about it. Yeah, what do you expect?
Well, I'm excited for it. Right now, I feel like it's also hard because I have this mental blockage right now where like I don't want to get overly excited for something that may not happen, because I feel like I got heartbroken by MMA a few times already before I even started. But it is what it is, just part of the game, But I'm also trying to like stay locked in and train and focus and train and prepare for the guy, but also adjust all the things that I have to be better at. And I'll make so much specific on like, oh, this is what this guy does and this and that. Especially because the guy I'm gonna fight right now, he's from Austria, but has a Russian name. His name is Islam Kukayev, and he mainly like takes people down and ground and pound them. So I thought that's kind of cool. He doesn't throw a whole lot of punches before he tries to shoot and stuff. So I'm interested to go there and try strike with him, because at the end of the day, like, what is gonna be? He's gonna take me down. That's awesome. Go ahead, take me down. That's all I want. Like, we want to fight on the ground, With that said, for MMA, like, my one advice, like, even if you like playing guard, if it's not a guard, like, you attack a lot of submissions from bottom. For example, like, if you don't have a whole lot of options that work for MMA, submission-wise, and you want to just sweep them, like, there's no reason to spend a lot of time on the bottom, because that's just you losing the round. And guys will literally just laying there, especially MMA fighters, like they have that sticky style where they want to stay inside close guard, want to stay inside half guard. They're not trying to do anything, so it makes it a lot harder for you to flip them. So one thing that I found that helps is, okay, if they are shooting on me, is trying to keep the scramble going. Like jiu-jitsu starts as soon as I'm hitting the ground. You know what I'm saying? They think they beat you on the rest, and I just the butterfly, guillotine, or omoplata, or shoulder crunch. I'm attacking right away, and now you have to defend. And then if you have to defend and get back up, and I'm getting frustrated with takedowns, or I'm flipping you, I'm finishing, you're attacking, but I'm finishing on top. I feel like that's something that's like also, helpful, not only for MMA, but also for people who mainly like playing on top, but don't have great wrestling. Like sometimes just expect that this guy's going to take you down, but the second you hit the floor, the fight starts. You know, you hit the floor already setting up your butterfly, already setting up your guard, already setting up your next sweep. You know, you just reverse them as soon as you go to the ground. I feel like that's been working well for me. Attacking legs and hiding my head under their legs. I feel like it doesn't allow them to punch me in the face too much. Dude, there's so much. That's the cool thing about being MMA right now is like the striking alone is so overwhelming. But then trying to do grappling for MMA is like I cut all of these things that I like doing and I can't really play with it as much because I want to have control over, you know, stylish stuff. Like I do need to work more on my control because they just want to stand up, dude. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. They want to stand back up. The second I give them any space, they're going to stand back up. And I was just like tired, you know, having to take them down again, having to grind down, or like getting punched again, you know, once you're ready to get them down. So I feel like my control got better, my squeeze got better, how to trap their legs, keep their feet off the ground so they can get up. Those things got better. Now I'm learning a lot more about off-balancing, using my wrestling to off-balance them. So as soon as I hit the ground, I can, you know, start actually like do my jiu-jitsu stuff. There's a lot that go to it. But for this fight specifically, I am hoping to go there and strike. You know, even if he sees the interview, dude, we're going to strike. You know, take me down, go ahead. Take me down right away, you know. And we'll see how that goes. And of course, boom, boom, he's hitting me, he's beating me. I'm going to try to take him down as well. So, you know, but I just want to fight. You know, I want to do the same thing that I've been doing for jiu-jitsu. I feel like MMA is a perfect place for me to do what I like doing, which is fighting. Not having to worry about the time and not the time. I mean, there's still time and strategy and things like that, but not having to worry about the scoring and like so much. Just who's more aggressive, who is doing the more damage, who is, you know, attacking more, who's the guy that's making the other guy look bad, you know. And like I feel like that's something that plays out to my advantage. You know, I am better if the time gets longer. I can catch you fast, but if you go 3 rounds in, dude, I know you're gonna be more tired than me in 3 rounds. You know, there's no way you're gonna have more energy than me in 3 rounds. So like it's cool, man. Yeah, it's cool. I feel like the better I get, the more comfortable I get with my hands and my defense and all that. Like still a lot of things that I have to get better and work on. But I definitely feel like I'm as awkward as I would think, you know, and probably not as sharp as I would wish. But I am learning and I'm figuring things out every day and getting better every day. Getting more comfortable training for really high level guys. I've been training extreme now, so I've got my butt kicked a few times. I've done well for good guys as well. So it's like a lot of, you know, good things to take from and learn and get better. I feel like I'm getting better, you know, fast. So it's been fun.
I got into jiu-jitsu because of my love of MMA. I always followed MMA and loved MMA. Got into jiu-jitsu, fell in love with jiu-jitsu, and then kind of my love for jiu-jitsu kind of grew past my love for MMA just because it's what I do. I physically get to do jiu-jitsu all the time. I didn't really train MMA as much once I started jiu-jitsu, but it's always great to see jiu-jitsu guys, high-level jiu-jitsu guys, crossing over into MMA and carrying the flag of jiu-jitsu in front of the world. So I'm always super excited to see people like yourself that make that crossover and represent the art out there to everybody watching MMA.
I think jiu-jitsu has everything it takes, you know, to make you like, you know, the best at fighting, dude. Because nobody does what we do. Nobody really does how we do, you know, like the ground fight is so freaking dominant. If I can get you to the ground, if I can get you to fight my fight, you're not going to have a good time, you know. And a lot of the guys are just trying to back away and, you know, sometimes that can be frustrating, but if you do eventually find a way to make them fight again, or if they just try to run away, but they're so worried about takedowns, now your punches and your kicks and things going to get through. There's like, it's very threatening for an MMA fighter who, majority of MMA guys, they fight, they only do striking, a lot of striking and wrestling, right? The secondary training is wrestling, their main thing is striking and then sparring and things like that. Jiu-jitsu, there's only a few guys actually do it. Some guys can do a once a week thing, they do wall wrestling or whatever, but they never make themselves do actual jiu-jitsu, which is like, you know, learning how to control, how to pass, how to take the back, how to put the hooks, how to not fall off, how to take a choke, how to take a submission, you know, like all of it, how to sweep, how to get out of a shitty position. Like you have to just do jiu-jitsu at that point. You have to do jiu-jitsu to learn jiu-jitsu. Like you can't just do jiu-jitsu for MMA, expect to be great at jiu-jitsu. It's not going to happen. You know, you're going to be so lost when you get against a good jiu-jitsu guy that can attack you in jiu-jitsu ways, you know, not just an MMA guy trying to stand back up and trying to, you know, scramble out. So I don't know. I feel like I'm biased to say it, but if you have great jiu-jitsu, dude, and you have like enough good hands, you know, just good enough hands and good defense, you can go really far in your career, you know. And if you can mix those two things well, and I mean, like Charles Oliveira has the most finishes in the whole, you know, in the whole UFC, dude. Like he just was a jiu-jitsu guy, or you know, first was just what he did, and he goes there and just moves forward. Khabib, same thing. He's like a sample guy, but you know, it's basically jiu-jitsu, it's grappling, like it's getting close. They don't have to care as much. They go forward the whole time. They make you trip over yourself. They make you like try to throw your bombs right off the bat, and they see it, shoot. And once you're on the ground, you're just like already like in your hand, like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it is overwhelming. Like these guys are new, just taking you to the ground fast. And like Squeeze's Lam is so good and gets so many finishes. It's much more scary when a guy is really good in jiu-jitsu and has like, you know, not scared of striking and has good takedowns, of course. Then a guy that is just a very good striker. Like he can be a very good striker, and that's scary. That sounds bad, and I'm gonna get hurt. But like, dude, we're seeing a lot of good wrestlers. I feel like beat up on good strikers and back and forth. It's just how you play the game in a way too. You can't be too desperate to hug someone's leg. You know, you gotta like be able to have something to show first and hide your intentions. But yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like jiu-jitsu is the most dominant art, like to be good at. So I'm happy that I spend so much time doing jiu-jitsu, and I understand why people don't leave jiu-jitsu to go to MMA, because it's just like once you learn that much jiu-jitsu, you just get sucked into more and more the jiu-jitsu idea. You don't want to get out and go to MMA. You know, it's a completely different world. But I wish more people would do it. A lot of guys would do well, and a lot of guys, as long as they learn a little bit, like they would do good. They're wanting to, you know. Getting punched is not all that fun at the end of the day.
For people that are interested in crossing over eventually and trying MMA, let's say you have a guy that's, I don't know, let's say he's a black belt, good black belt in jiu-jitsu, who wants to make that step and go into MMA. In your opinion, what's the bare minimum striking ability that you need? You said you felt like you only need to understand some basic defense and some basic punches. I mean, like what's the bare minimum?
The seeing is the hard part. Yeah, the seeing things. Like you have to put yourself through the situations to like be able to see better, I guess. Like that's one thing that's like more annoying. But honestly, I feel like if you understand the footwork, if you understand how to keep your elbows in, make yourself small, hands up, you know, and you can catch, or you can at least pull without picking up your head too much, no chin up, no desperate. Like these things that you're gonna make these mistakes. Like really good guys make mistakes as well if you're judging them harshly. You know, but like that's a good thing about MMA is like MMA, you can really get away with so much. I mean, I have small gloves, so I feel like you can do a lot of wrong things and still be okay, because as long as you're not getting caught, you can counter and still like catch the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like boxing is a little bit more technical. You have to work on those techniques and you have to be really sharp, because it's probably gonna be a real long fight. Hopefully you get some, you know, good hands to get through and knock someone out, but you're expecting a 12 round, 3 minute each round fight, you know. So it's like, I feel like it's a lot smarter and strategical and stuff. While MMA, there's a lot of guys fighting freaking 2 hands down. There's guys that just fight super shelf. So like, there's so many styles that you can work on. But for a jiu-jitsu guy, I think just working good defense, a good jab, straight punches, and making just enough to make the guy, to hit the guy, to be able to hit the spot and defend. Hit the spot, defend the shot, hit the shot. And then now you're making them like stay guessing, you know, like, so a lot of level changing, a lot of like, I'm going to take you down, but enough of like pop on the hands, or like they have to worry about the punches. Because a lot of the MMA guys, I knew you're getting hit by a jiu-jitsu guy and you're a striker, you're just like, oh yeah, you want to actually strike? Okay, so I'm not even showing it most of the time. My takedown shots sometimes will just go there. I'm like, we're gonna strike, bang, we're gonna strike. So then you see the guy frustrated, start loading up, whoop, and then whoop, you disappear as a takedown, as the bat. So you're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna fight. Let's go, dude. Just kidding. Go to the ground. And you just see them, fucking guy. Exactly. It's like, no, just kidding. Yeah, so it's cool. And I feel like we can get away with a lot being a good jiu-jitsu guy, you know. You want them to be aggressive and over-aggressive, like throw something harder than, kick them in the body hard, like throw big punches, like try crack them, like, because they're going to be angry and they try to hit you back, you get in, and you take them down. Like you want to get close. They want to back away from the jiu-jitsu guys. So just throw, man. Punch, throw, kick, do it. I feel like it's a good advantage, but it does take a little while for things to click better. Snipping a punch is not as easy as it may seem. We're like rolling under a punch, like those looks and those natural abilities. It takes so much drilling and timing and being put on the situation over and over again. And I feel like because it's not the thing that I did my whole life, even like a week or two off sometimes throws me off so much. So I have to stay consistent with it like all the time just to have my senses sharp. That's the one thing about MMA is a lot of repetitions, your senses are just sharp. It's like second nature reactions because it's just a split second for everything.
It is so much fun adding in the strike. I got back into boxing a couple of years ago. I've been boxing every Friday, and nice. it number one, it's amped up my cardio for jiu-jitsu immensely. My cardio is better than ever. It's just a different thing. In jiu-jitsu, you know how it is. Like there's lots of scrambling and stuff, but then you eventually land in a position where you can kind of catch your breath and think. In boxing, man, there's no really place to sit and think. You're either moving or you're evading shots or you're throwing shots.
You're always like, okay.
If you get tired, if you get tired, now you're tired and you're getting hit. But man, it's been so much fun adding it back in and being able to do that every week. What striking style do you think has been most effective for you? Do you find that like traditional like Western boxing, Muay Thai? What do you?
Easier for me to add Muay Thai on my game. Yeah. I feel like it's just easier for me to like add on. Boxing is very methodic and very like it just takes time, I guess. So I'm still getting better at boxing. I'm still learning a lot. I'm still fixing stuff. I'm still messing up little things. So the boxing aspect for me, like if you're just doing boxing, that was like, oh shit, I don't like that. Now if I can kick and I can find on a longer distance and I can get in close and get out, like I feel like it works better. While one is only the hands, I still have to like figure out my tricks a little better and hide my intentions a little better. Like I said, every day I'm learning a little bit better, so it's getting better for sure. But boxing is definitely like a different beast. It's like being good at boxing is like being good at like like the hand game, which is a big part of the fight. Now if I can kick, I do know that like I can block a lot of the boxers or frustrate a lot of them because I like moving a lot. I move a lot in jiu-jitsu. So I move a lot in MMA as well, move, hit, pop, and I can kick from a distance. I can keep throwing kicks and I can feint kicks and then throw the punch. So like I feel like it makes it better for what I like doing. Foot sweeps is my thing, right? So those are my takedowns, those are my calf kicks, those are like my leg kicks. It just matches the things that I already like doing. So I feel like I am a better kicker than I am a better puncher. So I do enjoy whenever I see guys are really good at kicking and they kick more than like most dudes, because it gives me courage. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, that guy's better at kicking than punching, because like, dude, just punching the whole time it's complicated. And if the guys have experience, like I may catch on the first round, but the second and third is like if I'm just boxing with you, you have better boxing than me. That experience is like same as me doing jiu-jitsu. It's like I'm gonna learn about you, and now you're not gonna catch me on the things that you're catching in the beginning. It's gonna suck for you, So like that's what I feel like. So if I keep mixing, they never really know what I'm going for, and it works better.
I think there's two avenues, and neither one's wrong. I mean, obviously, Muay Thai and boxing, they're both excellent arts in their own right. I think that there's guys like the style of like Charles Oliveira, Cowboy Cerrone, Matt Brown. A lot of times, the guys that throw more kicks, they could be more susceptible to getting taken down. But that's when you see guys with really, really good guards, like those three I just listed. Oh man, it's like, okay, they feel very comfortable at throwing head kicks and throwing Muay Thai style setups, because if they do get taken down, it's like, dude, now you're in their guard and you don't want to be in Charles Oliveira or Cerrone or Matt Brown's guard.
I'm saying that's how crazy it is that people even be like, they don't have the confidence. Because honestly, like even for me, like I'm a good jiu-jitsu guy, like here's a cheat code for like people who are good at striking. Dude, to get comfortable with getting inside someone's guard and just staying small, like, and it's really hard for me to do stuff in general, It's like the annoying wrestling guy that just can't hold you and like squeeze and stuff. It's annoying. But a lot of guys, when the guy is good at jiu-jitsu, they just like freak out. They want to run away from it. So like, okay, cool, dude, you gave me space to breathe. I got rocked. I fell, but okay, cool. But I'm like, now I'm back like the Charles Oliveira style. He'll get dropped, you get back up and knock you out. Like you lose the timing because you didn't go up on the guy because you're just like, fuck, if I actually jump in, he might actually tap me. So I'm going to let him get up. But I took time to to get better, to like, he took some time after he got rocked to get back, and he goes right back into attack mode. That's why Charles Oliveira is so fun to watch, though. He's just offense. He's just offense.
Charles has been one of my favorite fighters since way before anyone else was even talking.
Yeah,
like before he actually blew up, I was already following him. I was like, dude, this guy's awesome.
He was my favorite guy since I was like a little kid, dude. He was a blue belt. He was murdering people in jiu-jitsu. I was like, this kid's so fun, dude. He is the one that I saw doing the splits on the legs first and the trips, the one that Marcelo does. He would like pull into it. He would do flying triangles. Like, he did so much fun. The cartwheel, I think, was him too. I've probably seen first. He just like opened my mind to like these universal, like, oh my God, it just can be so cool. Look at that. It's like favela style, And I was like, oh, dude. And then when he went to MMA, I just like, we were already like fans. We just followed him ever since. And yeah.
I feel like the other path with adding striking to jiu-jitsu or grappling would be, like we said, the boxing side. For me, personally, that's been the one that I feel most comfortable with. I think that the reason I like boxing with jiu-jitsu so much, kind of like the Diaz brothers style, where it's boxing and jiu-jitsu. I feel very comfortable boxing my way to a clinch, and then once I have a clinch, I feel very comfortable from there with setting up certain takedowns and using my jiu-jitsu, getting to the back, duck unders, things like that. I also, when I first started boxing, I thought, okay, what's my objective here? Because I'm not going to go fight MMA at this point. I'm almost 40 now, and so okay, then what's my objective? I just want to learn the skills, have the ability to use it if I need it. And then just be able to explore secondary martial art. And I thought, well, the big thing is I also don't want to get hit a whole lot. I don't want to collect a bunch of CTE and stuff at this point in my life. So what should I be doing? Well, one of my favorite, probably stylistically, my favorite boxer of all time is Floyd Mayweather. And he's just an artist at not getting hit. He's been hit. Oh man, I mean, he's probably been hit less in the head than any boxer that's ever lived.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought, okay, that seems smart to me. So I've been learning like a lot of Philly shell type stuff, a lot of shoulder rolls, things like that. And I'm learning how to try to use that kind of style and time things, like you said, to get to the clinch. Like, as you get them committing forward, you drop levels and get the clinch and stuff. So yeah. But it's fun, man. It's fun adding striking. And like I said, dude, I think it's so great to see people like yourself who could just stick with jiu-jitsu forever, branching out into MMA and
yeah, why not? Give it a try. We'll give it a try. I was 27. I'll be 28 in June. But like, if anything goes wrong, I'll come back to jiu-jitsu and like be some of these guys stay all the way up to 40s in jiu-jitsu. Now, if I go to MMA, I'm just trying to speed up the process. That's basically how I feel. Like, if I go to MMA and I do well, at 35, I'm good, dude. I'll be like, hey, I'm hanging the gloves. No more CTE for me. I'm good. Done well, made money. My brain is here, and I'm good. Now in jiu-jitsu, I feel like it's just a very much longer run. If I stay doing jiu-jitsu, I'm never gonna want to stop. I know that. You're just never gonna have that last year. You're like, oh, this is good enough for me. I'm gonna chill. I don't think it's I'll ever arrive. I'll ever get to that point. And I don't want to leave it. I don't want to be competing for the rest of my life. I want to like have some sort of good time at some point. We work a lot, we think like having the gym, and now it's MMA extra, just training all day long and then teaching at night, get back at night, take care of the dogs. It's a lot of time spent on getting better and on the sport, martial arts and this and that. So I want to have early retirement. I want to have an early retirement. I want to be sad. I want to be doing good. But you never know.
We really are in very interesting times right now in the world of jiu-jitsu, because this is the first time where guys are really starting to make money professionally in jiu-jitsu. Like, we have events like PGF, like you just did.
Easy.
Obviously, ADCC's got cash prizes. We've got tons of events now coming out. Now, Craig Jones is talking about starting a huge thing with a lot of money. So there's all these opportunities.
UFC Fight Pass, they're trying to like do this thing big, so I'm hopping on that wave possible to get more events with them. Again, I'm signed with one, so I have my contract song was up with one. I gotta see what we're gonna do. If you're gonna resign me or not, or where we go after that fight. But yeah, honestly, like that, like, has one championship and UFC Fight Pass. There's like you said, all these other events. Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know. I did slow down because I started trying to fight MMA, but it's been for a long time that I already sacrificed my career on being everywhere and competing everywhere to being exclusive on other places that I was like, this guy's value me, this guy's going to pay me, I'm going to be there. these guys here are always trying to shoot low and throw me less money than I think I'm worth. I'm not gonna do it. And I done that a lot. You know, I feel like I only did Pens and Worlds for BJJ for a long time. I barely did Opens. I done Kasai's. I done the Third Coast. I done like all these things. Like, you know, I was like, okay, cool, they're paying. I was like, okay, I'm a professional grappler. You know, that's what I want to do. And yeah, and I refused to fight it for a bunch of people because it's just like, yeah, it's good exposure. It's easy now. I'm just not buying into the idea anymore, you know. I just feel like, so at some point we all have to kind of unite and follow that and be like, okay, cool, I done enough, and I this is my value, this is how much these guys value me. I can be fighting for this guy for this much and this guy for like this much, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. So I've been trying to be more professional about that. I feel like, you know, yeah, it has done well for me so far, and yeah, I'm glad that a lot of people now is getting onto that higher pace and stuff, because honestly, like, making $5,000, even $10,000 it's still very cool, but it's not life-changing money. You know, it is not life-changing money. Like, you need a lot more money, especially if you're living here in America. And if you get 10,000 to go back to Brazil, like, you make 50,000, you'll be okay. You know, you'll be able to lead, like, make that last a little longer. But yeah, I also did realize, like, oh shit, like, with the MMA idea, you know, in mind, and just realizing how much money people that have regular jobs make, right? Because you don't think about these things when you're just in the jiu-jitsu world, or you're thinking about, like, where's the salary of all these guys that I've been teaching, for example. It's like, dude, people make good money. They have really good lives, you know, without having to destroy their body like I do. I was like, why am I doing all of that for the entertainment of everybody for free? Like, that makes no sense. You know, so I feel like I've been trying to be better about that, trying to stick to the game plan. I'm like, okay, no, I need to make money. I'm here to make good money, and I'm here to put on a good show. So I give you a good show, you give me good money, we're set. You know, I mean, we don't depend on exposure or these or that, like, and all these other things.
Traditionally, it was always that good jiu-jitsu guys would eventually have to cross over to MMA in order to make real money. Like, they'd have to try to get into the UFC, or way back in the day, they'd fight for pride, things like that. And nowadays, I mean, we really are in times where these people, like, you know, competitive athletes are able to pretty consistently do events, get paid, do seminars, open schools.
Before, I was like once a year, twice a year, and now it's like every month.
Yeah.
Every few weeks,
exactly.
2 weeks. So, like,
in your opinion, what direction do you think that the is going to be most profitable or most beneficial to athletes moving forward? Do you think that you know, it's going to be even worth it for them to do things that don't pay? Maybe they have more prestige at the moment, but don't pay. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like when you're young and you're trying to, like, make a name for yourself, you gotta jump on everything no matter what. I'm not blaming you, because that's what you gotta do. You gotta put your name out there. You gotta conquer respect. You gotta beat on some good guys, and you gotta show that you're able to do it. You know, and you gotta learn somewhere. You know, you gotta get better somewhere. But once you start doing good enough and you beat few good guys and you want some big things, you can't just keep going lower than what you should be getting, because that's just a giant what's called that just starts something that's, like, not beneficial for the whole sport. So it is more beneficial for everybody if everybody is on the same boat. You know, and some guys are like, yeah, but I'm on the lower level, dude. You're saying that because you're getting paid good money and you're in the highest level. Like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. But I'm like, dude, even for you, if you're, like, in the middle level of it, and you're, like, maybe number 5th to 10th, you know, of the category or whatever, like, if you keep fighting for shitty money, dude, that's what's going to be forever. And you're never going to be, like, you know, be able to, like, make a good living, or, you know, you'd be always frustrated. So at some point, all of us have to, you know, be like, okay, this is, like, the minimum. This is how much I should be getting paid. This is what I got paid before. From here, I want to go up or stay the same. I don't want to keep dropping down. And that's kind of where I got stuck a little bit there. And, you know, I don't feel like fighting for free anymore. I don't feel like just doing this just because of this title or that title. I don't know. I feel like even the ADCC, for example, and that's hard for me to say, because, like, I like Mo, and I like the event, and I like ADCC, and I like watching all these events, and I like what everyone's doing for the sport. And it's awesome. Like, at the end of the day, I have to do trials in Brazil because I don't have a citizenship here yet, which I should have done it already, but I don't have citizenship here. If I was right here in Vegas, I would go. Honestly, I probably would go. But even then, it's like I have to do a whole event and then beat all these guys at this event to then go to the next event. And then if I win that event, then I make, $10,000. It's like, and you put your whole life and now you plan 2 years ahead and you're doing all of this investment for like, hopefully if you win, you become a big star, and then you got to be able to market yourself and make money off that. You still have more things to do. It's not just like go there, fight, win, and then you're going to be good. You're going to be set. It's not like you're going to get a giant paycheck and be good. You're going to have to make DVDs. You're going to have to do seminars. You're going to have to be teaching. You have to find a way to promote yourself and not let that die. Now, a lot of the times I feel like I fought for the idea of, if I go there and I do a good job, they're going to talk about me. And I don't feel like I was talked about enough, so like I was just like, I'm tired of playing this game of like, I'm trying to be cool to you guys. I'm trying to like sell the fight. I'm trying to come here and put on a show, and that should be enough. And, I was just not getting the same love. Like, I don't want to I'll just stick to the guys that value me. So I've been doing pretty well for my life. I feel like a lot of guys, they are actually doing better than me competition-wise, or they have a better career than me, but sometimes they're not even making as much money as I made, or like they're not doing as good in their professional life as I do right now, because they didn't plant the seeds that I planted, or didn't make some of the decisions that I made, which is, like I said, just sticking to do the things that make sense and not trying to hug the whole world and make everybody happy. And I don't know. I feel like my dreams were being a world champion, and that got me stuck in Jiu-Jitsu for a lot longer than I thought it would, because I wanted to fight MMA at first anyway when I was a kid. And then that took a while until I won the gi worlds. So I won the Ogi worlds. I was a brown belt, gi and Ogi. But then when I finally won the gi one, I was already ready to go to MMA. So I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to do MMA. So I don't want to hug into the ADCC dream and make this my dream. And like you're always going to have something else come up, and then you just, keep putting this goals above everything in your life. And besides being at T-Mobile and here in Vegas, which is like a big sell for me, like, shit, I wish I was doing, because right here in Vegas, I have all my students, and it's a T-Mobile, and it's going to be very cool, a very cool event. I don't want to be sitting down watching everyone scrap while I'm like, just waiting there. But I'm also not going to tear my whole life around and change all my plans, my MMA fighting plans, and, all these things that I've been planning to do, but, to get out of here and like not get paid on this event to go do the trials in Brazil, for example, or I don't know. And then the invitations right now, I feel like they're all sent out, and you kind of know already who the last guy that's getting invited for 77. Do I agree or not agree? It doesn't really matter, that those are the guys are going to be. So I'm not going to be like putting my head out, stressing about, oh my God, I'm not going to be a part of it. I haven't been active anyway. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. But I'll be here, if they need an alternate, I'll probably still jump in and fight. It should be fun. But like I said, like before, things like that could stress me out if I was just doing jiu-jitsu all the time. But now looking from the outside, I'm like, I'm not too stressed. If I'm there, it'll be cool. I'll prepare and I'll go hard. But I don't know. I'm tired of like taking all these crazy big dreams that sometimes like winning worlds. After winning worlds at any belt, you have that crushing reality come to you where it's like, fuck, nothing changed. Like, where's the phone calls? Where's the emails? Where's the sponsorship? Where's the guy like trying to hire me? Where is it? So it doesn't happen exactly like that. So it's just, you got to be happy for accomplishment, but then you're going to figure out what you're going to do professionally too.
Well, it's interesting as we see, like that was always the path in jiu-jitsu, is that you try to win a world championship, you win the ADCC championship, and you try to then market your name off of that, which works well. That's traditionally worked very well for a lot of people. But it makes me wonder, like as more and more of these big cash paying events grow, as we see cash prizes growing more and more opportunities happening, it seems like naturally that's the way that athletes are going to gravitate. Because it's like, hey man, yeah, it's cool to be a world champion, but at the same time, I'd rather, I got bills to pay. I want to try to do this full time and get paid for my efforts. I wonder whether or not over time it's going to attract so many athletes that eventually those are going to be the prestigious titles. Those are going to be like, it's also like in the future. I wonder if 10 years from now or 15, 20 years from now, the cash prizes get to a point where that has more value, because that's where all the tougher guys are competing, because they're all trying to win the money.
I mean, think about it, like the Daiga thing, for example, right? Daiga event. I'm also on a team for the Kasai team for that. So it's like, dude, they're going to pay $1 million. They're going to pay $1 million. So it's like, put on account. Like, you want to win this title and have to, make sure this doesn't die out just because not only you win, that's the problem. You're not the only guy that wins. A lot of people win, and then if 3 of the favorite guys that already have a good marketing win, then you just, you might actually win and not do like that well. There's like a lot of guys, I don't know, like a lot of guys do well. It's a hard thing to say like that, like a lot of when people get their feelings hurt and stuff, but like guys like Kaiden, he has won ADCC, he has won Worlds. Guys like, there's a lot of people like you, I don't feel like they're doing as great as they should be, and they beat guys that are really good. But like at the end of the day, if you have a better marketing, you know how to market yourself, you know how to sell outside of the mat, that's when you do best, So sometimes investing on the marketing might be better than like investing on this idea of being a big, I want this big thing and whatever. Like win small things, but go there and promote yourself well. Fight shitty guys, but go there and promote yourself good on the internet. I feel like there's so many like younger guys, for example, now doing these ADCC opens, they're just blowing up and like making a name for themselves and getting a lot of like viewership, which in the future are going to make them make more money because now when people are hiring them, that's what they're looking at. They're like, okay, how many followers does he have? How much people watch his thing? How does he have a YouTube channel? Does he have this and that? You know what I'm saying? Like, all those things come into account. It's the same thing for UFC. The guys that promote themselves better, they do better, they make more money, than other guys. So at the end of the day, I don't know, winning worlds, winning to see all that is like it's very cool. And it's for the legacy, like Khabib would say, like it's legacy, but it's not so much like it's not gonna change your life money wise. You still have to the next day wake up and figure out what you're gonna do about it with that, and hopefully like you get a lot of attention as fast as possible about that, because now is the next thing. Next week, like you bet, like ADCC is gonna happen, and then the next week they're gonna have an event. They're gonna have another big event come up, or 2 weeks after. And I was like, if you wanted to see your last day event, like, oh shit, who's that guy that might be the ADCC champion guy? And that's what it's. I feel like nowadays with internet in the mix, it doesn't matter as much for you to be a big title shot guys. Title shot guy, like he won these many titles on these and that. Like some guys, they just don't even watch Jiu-Jitsu at all. They will just watch Nogi. So you have 5 world titles, they don't even know who you are, but they know who this guy is here. They won the EBI. And this guy's like here, as far as like video wise, as he fought for the Fight Pass, and he's like on the 10 planet community of Nogi people. And it's like, that like I've been seeing these like foreclosure from looking both sides, Gi and Nogi and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of factors to who's gonna do well or not, but a lot of it has to do with like self-promoting. And I hope this does get better as well, where like eventually the guy can just worry about fighting, and then the actual promotions are gonna be the ones coming after this guy. I mean, hey, let's do something with you, let's do a documentary, let's follow you for your next camp. Like the UFC kind of does that, right? And other events, of course, do that too. It's just UFC is what comes to mind, like for the countdowns and things like that. So like you get to know more about these guys, you get to follow them around without them having to have always their personal team doing it. But a lot of the guys also do have a personal team that follow them and they do stuff all the time. So like I said, I feel like that is also very important, not just the idea of winning titles.
It's exciting times, man, because it does seem to be like it really does seem like there's more and more opportunity happening now in the world of jiu-jitsu. It's going to be really cool to see how far it goes and where it goes. So,
dude, I think from here now, we can only go up and forward. I just feel like, I just hope the kids listening out there, take on that advice and like value yourself, dude. Like make sure like you're not just undervaluing yourself and just like, oh my God, but he's like, this is a big event and I like it, and these guys, they invite me, I have to be there. They're going to give me this chance. If I say no, it's not, I don't know. I feel like that's something that you shouldn't be too worried about. Opportunity is going to be all over the place. That's kind of my point. I just pick your poison and see where you want to go, where you want to really be a part of, or you want to win, make goals, and don't just worry about, find events for the name of the event,
Excellent advice. Well, Renato, I'll tell you what, man, we've reached the halfway point of the show. As you know, this is where we always play that Pummel game. For the people new to the show, the Pummel is a series of random questions. Some of these are about jiu-jitsu. Some of them have nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. Renato, you're a returning 2-time champion, so we're going for your 3rd run here. If you're down to play the Pummel, I'd love to play it again with you.
Let's do it.
I got a couple new questions. I don't think I asked you before. Question number 1: What's the largest animal that you think you could beat in hand-to-hand combat?
I think I can beat a bear. I've seen a
You
few
think you
guys
can beat
beat bears when they
a
have
bear?
good grappling.
Okay, man. All right, bro. That's a ballsy answer.
A baby bear, baby bears.
A baby bear. Okay. Yeah, that's a very important detail.
The largest. Yeah.
What's your
baby bear? Baby bear is large.
What's your strategy against a bear? Against a baby bear? What's your go-to technique?
Dude, I think it would be like arm drags or duck unders, trying to get behind them, stay behind them.
That's a good call.
Stay by, tire them out.
You get tire out the bear. If anyone can tire,
I know I'm trying with the bear like a real naked joke.
If anyone can tire out a bear, it's probably Renato. I believe in you, man. I believe in you. What do you if you found a genie lamp and you could get 3 wishes? Standard genie rules apply. No killing anybody and no wishing for more wishes. What 3 wishes would you ask for?
Dude, I'd wish to stay healthy for as long as I can in my career. Honestly, that would be like the one thing. Like, make sure I don't get anything crazy on the way that will stop me from being able to, like, do as much as I want. Number 2 would be opportunities, and number 3 would be, I want to be a millionaire, at least millionaire.
Nice. What do you think is a secret talent that you have that people might not know about?
I'm really good at Fortnite, dude. Just joking. No, I'm not. I wish I was good. I rap. I rap in Portuguese. I do some rapping. Yeah, some spot. Yeah, a little bit. It's different. I have some stuff written down, but like I haven't been doing as much like writing as of lately. But I can freestyle a little bit too. Depend of the time. Yeah. In English, every time I try, even my dogs beat me, which means my wife singing for my dogs, and they beat me, dude.
What do you think is your favorite junk food to eat? Favorite bad food?
My favorite junk food to eat, dude, burger. A nice burger.
Describe your perfect burger.
Good burger, though. Good burger has bacon, egg, a fat patty on it. Let me see, onions, cheddar, a lot of ketchup. Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one, man. So you don't like smash. You like big, thick, like artisanal burgers. You don't like smash burgers.
I rather have the fatter burgers in the bite that was like a big chunk of burger. Yeah,
me too. Smash like I know smash burgers are really popular, but I much prefer I prefer.
I mean,
a thick,
it's good,
like,
but it's just not that. It doesn't kill the craving here. It's like a real big burger.
Who do you think is who's your favorite grappler of all time?
My favorite grappler of all time. That's a hard one. Favorite grappler of all time. I think Leandro is my favorite grappler of all time. Yeah.
Man, great choice.
Yeah,
I could see a lot of influence on you from his style. Yeah, I can see that. I can see
Watch
that
the
for
guy
sure.
so much, just the pace, just the pace. He may look tired, but he's never more tired than the guy that he's facing too, which is like similar. He just doesn't care about breathing hard. I don't feel like he was ever like tired like people think, or he wasn't even acting. He just doesn't care of taking deep breaths. He's like, he knows you're seeing him. He's going, but now he got over with. He go those big deep breaths. He's gonna run through you again. So like, it's not even that he's tired. He's just not trying to hide. Like a lot of guys, like Muhammad Ali in the other sense, like he's always nose breathing, like trying to show you that he's not tired, but sometimes he looks tired. It's just like there's that half and half. Like we were all a little bit tired, and he just didn't care about taking big deep breaths in front of the guy. He's still gonna run through you at some point.
Man, what's one of the things that is so crazy about Leandro, it was that talking to people that knew him and stuff, they'd be like, oh yeah, bro, like he'd be at the club or at the bar the night before and he'd wake up hungover and then go do that. Like when you're watching it's like, dude, this is a hungover man who was partying till 3 a.m. last night, shows up this morning,
everybody
and kicking everybody's ass. Oh, dude, it's unbelievable.
Dude, I feel like if I play video game too late at night and I go to sleep too late, I wake up the next morning already feeling sluggish. I already have a little excuse on how to do that. That's all the shitty Angelo out there, dude. That's a special kind of
legend.
Yeah, legend. He's a legend. He lived his whole life as a legend, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is your biggest phobia?
My biggest phobia, it's I think my biggest phobia is staying irrelevant. I don't like it being out of the scene, dude. I've done this for so long, and I know it. I like competing so much. I hate being out of the scene like I've done like for these last 2 years. I think I had like some tough times to get through. I wasn't depressed or anything else, but it's just, it just sucks to be like on the outside and be like waiting. Like my biggest phobia right now is that like, is this guy gonna show up for my fight? So I think it's phobia right now.
Is a contract?
I have a contract, yes.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, okay, so that's a good sign.
February, I was trying to fight as well, and then like literally the week off, like 3 days before, I got pulled out. So that's unfortunate. So, but yeah, no, this one, yeah, I know that guy is looking at me right now, like, you're this jiu-jitsu nerd. I'm gonna punch him in his face. He's gonna show up.
That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want. Yeah, yes. We want him thinking that way for sure.
Let him punch me in the face, man.
What do you think? Who's your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero for the longest. That's a hard one too. Batman.
If you could have a superpower, what would you choose?
I would be rich like Batman.
Be rich like Batman. I like that you mentioned that wealth can be a superpower, because you got like Iron Man, Batman. If you can afford the gear and the training,
exactly. Like, that's a power. If you're tough, dude, and you're rich, you know what I'm saying? Like, not getting whatever, dude. That's awesome,
you're dangerous.
Dude. Yeah, you're dangerous. Exactly.
Yeah, and in worst case scenario, if you find an enemy that you can't beat, you just pay off everyone else to jump him with you.
Exactly. Yeah. Dude, I mean, that's jumping.
Oh, that's awesome. Favorite video? I know you're a gamer. Favorite video game of all time?
My favorite video game of all time, man. I think GTA San Andreas.
Good choice. That was man. I played so many hours of that game, dude. So much of my life I won't get back. Oh, dude.
Same.
So good.
That was the best, dude. I wish they had a version of that on the online one. That would be so sick.
I remember I was on a forum online. This is just a random memory here, but I was on a forum online a long time ago, like when the game was first going on. And this guy, he came on, he says, man, I just got out of prison for like 10 years, man. And he's like, I think he lived in LA. He's like, yo, what's going on in LA? What's different? And then the final thing he asked is, what's the big gangs in the streets right now? Like who's running the streets right now? And someone answered Grove Street and the Ballas. and he didn't know the game because he's been in prison. So he's like, "Oh man, who are the Ballers? Where are they from?" And everyone's like laughing. That was awesome. That was the game though for a long time. Final question for the Pummel game, Renato. If a zombie apocalypse breaks out right now, what's the first thing you do?
I'll go grab my gun, dude. I'll go grab my rifle. I'm going to go grab my rifle.
You're in Vegas, man. You're good to go.
Well, first I'll call my wife. Yeah, my wife should take few zombies with me too, for sure. Yeah, I reckon I was a better weapon than a gun, even. My wife's still a gun. Yeah,
Raquel is equally dangerous to whatever guns you got, for sure.
Exactly.
Man, for sure. And Renato, that was the final question for the Pummel game. Congratulations. You're a 3-time winner. You got your double underhooks.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Of course. So, man, before we go, Renato, I wanted to pick your brain on some technique here really quick. Obviously, everyone knows that one of your most dangerous tools is your arm bar. You hit arm bars from literally everywhere. Number one reason people fail with arm bars, in your opinion?
I think that people show too much their intentions. I think like it's very easy to defend an arm bar once you've done a few months of jiu-jitsu and you know that that's a move. You hug the arm, you pull the arm back right away. So I feel like my setups are very much, I don't touch your arm until like the end of it, or even a flying arm bar. I'll jump. The last thing I'll do is grab your arm, grab your head. I'm jumping, I'm grabbing the arm, or I'm passing guard or framing, and I'm sliding my legs, my knee into it, my leg over, and the hand comes after it. If you grab the arm, then they lock in, they block right away. You want hands out, you want pushes, you want to distract them from number one off balance attack armbar from guard. So, yeah, I think a lot of people would just show too much. They're like, oh man, it's so hard to do arm bars from close guard. It's because we're just trying to drag it across and force it, like put something on the way, go back to it. I feel like that helps a lot more. That hide your intentions a little better.
Yeah, it's just like what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, hiding your intentions. Obviously, arm bars are a tremendous tool to create dilemmas. Like, for example, one of my favorite things to do is if I get to S mount, I like attacking the collar and the gi for collar chokes. And as they reach up to defend that, I'll switch to an arm bar. And then they'll defend the arm bar, so I go back to the choke, and it just becomes this cycle where they have to defend two things. What are some of your like secondary attacks that you like to pair with arm bars to create dilemmas?
So from the S mount that you're saying, like getting to the mount, going all the way S mount, like high up, you mean, right? And then you bring the elbows up. I like to act like I'm going to attack one arm and then attack the other one. I think that's like a cool one. It's like so taking one arm bar to the other. But a lot of the times I feel like if I threaten an arm bar, like a PGF, I was doing that a lot. I was threatening arm bars with my hips, make them think about it, and then they would like collect their arms and I would just get side control, like at least pass their guard of feinting an arm bar and just acting like one go forward to get a pass. Or a lot of the times too, I feel like if the elbows out, I'll switch to a normal plata right away. Arm bars with triangles, my secondary move. Yeah, it depends where I'm at. A lot of wrist locks here with the arm bar as well. A wrist lock at the same time, or triangle or wrist lock. Like everything with a side of wrist lock, makes you that faster.
I love that your first answer was the arm bar on the other side. That's how you know Renato loves arm bars. Hey, what's your favorite? What's your secondary move after the arm bar? Because another arm bar, of course. Like what else?
The other side. There's few guys that do that though. Honestly, like, it's not you just me. I realize a lot. It sucks. These guys things like me. Like I'll defend an arm bar on this side, like on the bottom, for example, and they will like literally switch everything and catch the other one. I'm like, oh shit. There's like few guys nowadays I was trained like, okay, yeah, these guys do the same thing. They attack one arm and attack the other. You think you're safe by this, you catch you.
What do you think is a concept that you've learned over time that changed the way you looked at arm bars? Is there anything that like once you understood that's like a specific thing about arm bars that it really helped you moving forward?
Yeah. So a few things. First, the control ability, right? So my control is on my legs and my hips, not so much on just the hold of the hand and the arms. That's what's going to help me to break the lock, for example, or to just secure them there afterwards. But if my legs are climbing and I'm getting tight like that, we go back to that Roger Gracie versus Jacare match, how he climbs his shoulder, then he gets it. Like, he really shows like the idea of like, okay, use your hips, use your legs together first and squeeze. I would say belly button behind the shoulder. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to a very deep arm bar. I have this much of space now until the arm is out. Now, if I always aim for the elbow, they pull it out, and I was like, hitting on my stuff or it's out, or they lose the arm bar. I want to overshoot, and I don't want to get it here. I want to get them doing this. I want to be like pressing their arm across. And then when I hit the arm bar, it's like there's no sliding away. I'm pushing my belly against it. And I'm keeping this super tight and not letting them tuck in by using my hips and not so much my arm. I feel like that helps. That's how I do flying arm bars. I'm shooting my hip all the way up behind the shoulder. It's like jumping guard in a sideways, but I'm trying to bring my belly all the way behind the shoulder here, back of the shoulder, back of the tricep. So yeah, I think that's the main thing. Using your legs tight, knowing like when to cross your legs or when to be heavy on top of the head of the leg. Those are all things I feel like, it depends if you're doing it from bottom or from top or whatever, but the main thing is that getting your hips right here, right to it. That's what you're aiming for.
That's actually, yeah, I love the idea of having that demarcation line around the shoulder rather than the elbow itself. Because like you said, the position of the elbow can change. So if you're behind the shoulder,
need for them to slide in, especially when they give it to you and then you want to jump on it and they just slide it. Now, if they give it to you and you kind of smash your belly over, you can't even get them like from top. They can go belly down. We can go like stay on mount and catch it. Or like if I'm doing from bottom, same thing. I'm climbing the guard, I'm going over the shoulder, then I'm hitting it. But if I aim it just for the elbow, they're going to slide off like fast. They're going to shake it and take it off.
Well, guys, if you're out there listening, obviously arm bars are one of the, it's a necessity. You have to know how to use arm bars in jiu-jitsu. It's one of the most important techniques. Renato's one of the best in the world at applying them. And he's got a great instructional with us called 50 Shades of Armbar, which you guys have to check out. It's one of our absolute bestsellers on the website. He approaches the submission from all different angles, all different positions. So if that's an area of your game you're trying to improve upon, this is a great instructional to check out. So go check it out. Renato, in closing, man, what are some of your major goals for 2024? Obviously, you got your MMA fight coming up. Anything else on the horizon that you're hoping to accomplish by the end of the year?
I want to beat a bunch of good guys in jiu-jitsu as well. I want to hopefully do 2 to 3 MMA fights at least this year. from here to the end of the year. If I can get 3, it would be awesome. I want to have good super fights, and then, you know, hopefully somehow I still slide into ADCC and upset a lot of people. You know, I do. I would like to be a part of the party. Like I said, I couldn't make my priority because I have too much stuff going on. With that said, if I do jump in, I'll be there. It would be cool to be there. With that said, what else? Yeah, I have some goals, non-spoken. I don't think I'm gonna speak it yet. Like my MMA fight happened, and then I'll be going after a lot of good guys. You know, I'll be trying to take some kings, you know, and be able to like get my name back up there. It's supposed to be.
That's awesome. Well, dude, I can't wait to see you get out there. And again, huge congrats on carrying the flag of jiu-jitsu in the world of MMA. You've already done tremendous things just in jiu-jitsu, but to see you branch out into MMA and carry the flag is really exciting.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, folks, unfortunately, we're out of time. Man, Renato, always a pleasure to get to chat with you. You always bring great conversation to the table. I appreciate you exploring all these concepts that you talk about, both with strategies in your matches. It's also great to hear your perspective as a professional athlete on the overall trajectory of the sport and where things are going and what's happening. So I appreciate you sharing your time with us today, and you're welcome back anytime you want to come back.
Thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I feel like you lead the conversation well, and I talk way too much, but I appreciate you being here too.
You do not on this show. There's no such thing as talking too much, my friend. That's what we want. I appreciate you being so generous with your knowledge. For anyone out there that wants to keep up with Renato, it's really easy to do so. He's active on all platforms, mostly Instagram. He does have an athlete page on Facebook, so if you guys use Facebook, you can follow him there. Instagram is at Renato Canuto BJJ. His YouTube channel is CanuTube. That's perfect. Find his channel CanuTube. Subscribe, hit the little bell icon to get notified when he adds new videos. And also, guys, you can check out his website, hybridjj.online. If you guys are ever traveling through Las Vegas, it's one of the premier academies to train at there. So make sure you drop in and get some training. If for whatever reason you can't travel to Las Vegas, you can learn from Renato anywhere in the world here at BJJFanatics.com. We talked about his instructional today, which is one of our best sellers, 50 Shades of Armbar, available right now at BJJFanatics.com. And also, guys, keep an eye out. June 7th, 1FC. It's going to be his first MMA fight. Representing jiu-jitsu out there in the big stages of MMA. So that's very exciting stuff. That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next episode of the BJJ Fanatics podcast.